Rise and Shine YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about the EWEADN S9 Max. Now, this was sent out for a review. They asked me if I wanted to collab with them. They liked my videos from the email, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's try it. This shape is pretty much a VIPER V3 clone at $100 cheaper. So this is $54 or $52.99 currently on Amazon, while the VIPER V3 Pro sits at $160. And the weight on this guy is advertised at 59. On my scale, it comes out as 63 grams. It does have a little more of a dense feeling to it for the weight that it is. I think it's just because of how narrow this mouse is. It's going to have that more dense feeling the heavier it gets. And with it, the shape profile is pretty much a VIPER V3. This guy has a very subtle slight, So the hyperspeed on the right-hand side kind of feels more distinct. So you can get a more locked in feel on the right-hand side. Whereas the S9 is pretty much just like a super safe rectangle, right? There is really no distinct side play or side feel flares or anything like that going on with this mouse. It's a super safe rectangle, narrow rectangle shape. Even though you might see underneath, it has this kind of curvature going on. The Hyper or the VIPER kind of has more of like it comes in and it comes out. I think it had just more the distinct, unique shape profile to it than the S9 does in general. But for 8K pulling out of the box, wired, wireless, and at $52.99, that's not a bad deal. Clicks feel good, side buttons feel good. There's no like mushiness going on. There is some post travel with these, especially the back button. Yeah, there's definitely a good bit of post travel, but the main clicks, there really isn't any pre travel or post travel going on over here. You can feel the click a little bit if you get a little more intense with your finger on the plastic, right? You can feel the click ever so slightly. With the left click, right click, you don't feel it at all. Scroll wheel is just a basic, super smooth, fast actuating scroll wheel. There really isn't too much going on there. Clicks, fine, right? Nothing crazy. This is a budget mouse, so you're gonna get what you pay for, basically. And skate-wise, skates are pretty meh. I mean, most of the Chinese companies just use basic black skates now, and on cloth, they're right? They're kind of tuggy, slow, right? Glass, they feel fine, right? I mean, on the glaze, they're nice, they're open, but most of the time, most skates on this pad feel open, clean, fast. So it is what it is. There is one thing about this mouse, though, that I absolutely can't stand, and it is this glossy coating. So, I don't know how many other reviews that you have watched about this mouse, but I've watched one that really liked this coating because, it kind of it doesn't like make their hands slick or it's a nice grippy coating. This coating sucks. I'm just going to be straightforward. This coating is the worst coating I've ever felt on a mouse, period. It's slick, it's clammy, it feels like they dipped this thing in oil and were like, "Yes, let's mold this oil to this mouse and go from there." I just don't like the feel of it. I didn't put like really any time on this mouse because I just couldn't use this for longer periods of time because the coating just it made me just no, I hated it. I hate the coating. Right? Coating is trash. I wouldn't get the glossy coating. If you do want a S9, right? Try to get one that isn't coated with this glossy finish because the Hyperspeed has such a better feel for it. And if you're somebody that is like making sure a coating is super grippy, I mean, just use grip tape on a VIPER V3 because this coating feels much better where this coating just feels sticky and clammy and I don't even want to know. So the Viper V3 Hyperspeed, I mean, if you use like the AAA battery mod, you can get those off of Amazon too. They come in like a little case, you put a AAA battery in there. I mean, you can't go wrong with this mouse. It does have a forward sensor where the S9 does have a more traditional middle sensor. Um, I would choose the Hyperspeed over this, and if I used a V3 Pro and if my hands were larger, it is what it is. But for me having small hands, right, the mouse doesn't feel bad. It's comfortable. It doesn't make my hands cramp like another large mouse, the Wise Owl Cloud made my hand like sweat because of how large it was. This is a nice rectangle shape for small hands. You know, it's a nice palm mouse. You can do what you need to do. I didn't play bad at all, which is surprising, right? But it's just the coding is something that turns me off of this mouse completely. And I hope this helps. You know, if you do like the shape, if you want to try it, go for it. It's super cheap on Amazon, but it's not nothing that is revolutionary. It's not going to change the game. It's just a budget clone. So, without further ado, rise up. Love you guys. God bless. And peace.